If you've built an appreciable amount of muscle in the gym, you might have been on a fat loss phase where all of a sudden you look at yourself in the mirror and yeah, you've lost a lot of fat, but you also kind of look like a coat hanger. So if this is the case, sometimes this can be attributed to the fact that you missed the memo on how much protein that you need to be getting. When you're done watching me discuss the interplay between protein and your fat loss diet, you'll be armed with the knowledge that you need in order to help you maintain as much muscle as possible while you lose fat. As a special bonus, you'll also have helped yourself ingrain one of the hardest habits that people have when they're trying to improve their diet, which is to have protein at every single meal and have an increased protein intake. When we're looking at any type of diet, regardless of the goal, protein is going to be one of the most important macros that you need to make sure that you're taking care of. So why is this? It's simple. Whether you're gaining muscle, whether you're trying to maintain your weight, whether you're trying to lose weight, protein is a building block of your muscle and of your lean mass in your body. Without it, you are not giving really your body the environment, the support it needs to grow or to help repair your muscle tissue, and growth just, it's hard to come by. So when we're on a fat loss, it becomes even more important because we're not overall giving our body that environment to grow because we're in a calorie deficit. So how can we best maintain the muscle mass that we already do have? And that's going to be by having a adequate or even larger than adequate protein intake. So there's a couple main reasons that I want to go over protein specifically when you're on a fat loss diet. There's 3 huge things that you need to take into consideration and that you need to really honor and respect when you're trying to go on that fat loss diet. So when you have your protein intake where it needs to be, this does a couple things. It increases your muscle protein synthesis, which we just went over. It helps keep your metabolism high, and probably most importantly, it helps curb appetite. So when we're looking at stoking the metabolic fire, which is just, I hate hearing that because that's kind of the reason why people got into the whole high meal frequency thing, which is completely unnecessary. But the fact is in order to digest protein, it requires you to burn calories. And it requires more calories to burn protein than it does for carbohydrates or fat. So when you eat protein, you are actually increasing your metabolism, which obviously when we're on a fat loss diet is a good thing. The third point I made about how protein can help curb hunger, this is kind of subjective. It really depends from person to person. There is a lot of research that shows that protein, in various forms, like a chicken breast, for instance, is just simply more satiating than, a piece of bread. So obviously there's so many different comparisons and different people are going to be satiated by different types of food. But generally speaking, you want to have protein at every single meal because it'll help make that meal satiate you more, which will help curb appetite later on in your diet when, later on in the day, maybe when you get hungry, or later on in your diet when eventually you do need to decrease your calorie intake. You'll obviously want to have as satiating food as possible to help curb the appetite. What's my recommended intake for fat loss? It's simple. So my general rule of thumb that's super simple to follow is 1 gram of protein per target pound of body weight. So if you're 220 pounds and you want to get down to 200 pounds, your target body weight is 200. So you got 200 grams of protein per day, easy. So that's generally what I like to use for maintenance and gaining modes. And obviously there is a lot of different numbers that I use based of course on the client and their individual situation, but that's just kind of a general rule of thumb that's very easy to follow. But when you're starting to lose weight, protein, like I said, becomes even more important because of the points we've already gone over. And so this can be increased a little bit more. So I like to go anywhere between that 1 to maybe even 1.2. You can go even higher, but I think that's really overkill and not necessary, and you're just gonna be, farting all the time. So that 1 to 1.2 is a really, really good number to follow, at least to start off with, and then you can make adjustments as your diet goes along. So to conclude, number 1, protein is the most important macro for building, retaining, and maintaining your muscle. Number 2, protein, while you're on a fat loss diet, has multiple effects such as increasing muscle protein synthesis, curbing your appetite, and helping increase your metabolism. And number 3, the recommended daily dose of protein that you should be eating every day on a fat loss diet should be that 1 to 1.2 grams per target pounds of body weight. If you know anyone who has problems with their protein intake during their fat loss diet, please feel free to share this video. I'm looking to help as many people as I can. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. If you like these types of videos, please hit that subscribe button. I got a lot more coming your way. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Peace.